Hello, everybody. Welcome to the most recent and probably your new favorite podcast about motorsports. This is Azuland.
I'm sorry. Good morning, good afternoon, and why not good evening? Here we are again, on track. We are
As do volante.
there in the beautiful and great Lisbon. Portugal is our friend, the specialist.
João Barata, here I am.
And my name is Diego, a curious guy from Argentina. Joao, how are you doing?
I'm very good, and you? How are things over there on the other side of the Atlantic?
Great. We are having a little bit of cold, but as I said before, we are entering winter, so it is very logical. I'm inviting you all a lot. And what have we got today? What races are we going to analyze, to review today?
Well, I can say that we will have a lot of Formula One, and yeah, we will review how many? 3? Is that correct?
Oh, three races, the last 3 races of the 2021 championship.
Yeah,
Okay, let's start then, because it will be a lot of work.
it will be a lot of work. We have three good races to review.
Okay, Joao, let's go to your country. Let's go to Portugal.
Yeah, good race, I think. At least we had some fight for the victory, at least during the first half of the race. Yeah, we reached a point where things were pretty done. But it was interesting that beginning where Verstappen was able to overtake Hamilton during the restart after the safety car. But then we saw that the Mercedes in this track, well, they have a little bit more in that car, especially regarding power, the power unit. We see that Red Bull, when he's like 0.5 of a second and opens the DRS, it doesn't get much closer, and Hamilton just overtook Verstappen with 7 cents in the beginning of the straight. So yeah, the power is a little handicap for Red Bull right now. And but yeah, Hamilton doing what he knows, good solid race, pulling all the things he had to pull and going for the victory. And yeah, Verstappen did his best, but I think once again Valtteri, which started on pole and led the beginning of the race, that he has to step up. Yeah, it's like Perez, but Perez, yeah, at least he's in the beginning, and we know that car is not an easy car. But yeah,
Absolutely not. I was thinking that it was the 97th Hamilton's victory. We all thought it was going to be a hard championship for Hamilton. Yeah, it is a thing that we can discuss because of what happened later. But this race was especially, I wouldn't say easy, but it was in the terms of Mercedes. As you said, they, compared to Bahrain, grown in terms of performance, and it was very notable during the race. They tried to disturb, Red Bull tried to disturb Hamilton using Perez, but even that worked for nothing. I don't know, perhaps the track, it was pretty good for Mercedes configuration in general. Thinking about what happened last year in that same circuit, we were waiting for something different that finally didn't happen.
yeah, it seems that the Portimão circuit suits Mercedes. I think it has a lot of not a lot, but that final sector and the straight is like really a power sector, because they go full throttle during the left corner, all of it. So yeah, you need a very strong power unit. And when the car, maybe the car itself, not the power unit of Mercedes, is not as good as Red Bull, but really close, like 99.5%. But the power unit is much better. And we knew, because there were some information from Mercedes that in Portimão was the first race where they used maximum power during the race, and all the Honda is having some issues and probably is not doing that. So yeah, that makes a difference, and it would be very good for Red Bull if Honda could also unleash the full mode. Yeah.
Well, in fact, there are circuits where it's necessary. In fact, we have, recently, and we are going to speak about that later. Recently, we had a circuit where it's not necessary to use the whole potential of the power units. I'm speaking about Monaco and give. I didn't know that Honda wasn't using the whole potential of its power units.
Yeah, they are only using it in Q3.
And that means that they've got a little bit more in their pockets.
Yeah. If they could, that's what I was saying before. Is that they could use that. It would be very good for the championship and for them, because we saw in Portimão that it's and maybe a little bit in Spain also, that it seemed like Mercedes was not unbeatable, but going to that stage. Probably it was evolving in that direction. Monaco is a completely different track and different from all the rest in the championship, so it's like a standalone. But Portimão and Catalunya, especially Catalunya, is a pretty standard and good track to understand the performance of cars. So yeah.
And affects this some scale the reliability of the power units? I mean, there was a tires issue. I think perhaps with another strategy, Red Bull could manage to win this race. But besides that, they are not using whole power available to preserve the power units.
Yeah, that's because of reliability issues. Yeah. And we saw that Alpha Tauri, and I think even Sergio Perez. I think Verstappen is the only Honda driver that has not changed power unit element. I think all the others already changed something at least, which is not very good, because in Portimão it was the third race of the championship, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
Okay, it was something very curious. That, speaking about a different question, there was only one driver that quitted at Portimão.
Yeah, and it was the old guy Kimi Raikkonen, and he quitted because he was distracted changing specs in the steering wheel. So not the usual mistake, and especially from so much experience he has, it seemed like a mistake for Mazepin or Tsunoda, maybe, because they are rookies. But yeah, it seems it can happen to everybody.
I just was saying that he crashes with his teammate, and because it's the only safety car of the race that made possible that Verstappen became the race leader.
Yeah. But yeah, we had some other strong points. As usual, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc very strong all the weekend. It was a good step up for Alpine with 7th and 8th, Ocon and Alonso. Ricciardo struggling to keep up with Lando. Yeah, he's in the initial stages of this partnership with McLaren, but even so, it would be good to step up his game. And I think that there is one other positive mention that we have to make, and that's Mick Schumacher's race. I saw some on boards, and he was really, really clean driving, and driving that car must be like hell on earth. So yeah, and he was able in pure race pace to finish ahead of Latifi in a Williams, which is not a much better car, but better, undoubtedly. Yeah. So a thumbs up for Mick in this race. Pretty solid job there.
And Latifi is a much more experienced driver, so it's very notable for him. Yeah. He deserves a better car.
Yeah, I think so. And it's hard. I wanted to mention his race because it's also hard for us to see that he's doing a good job because you are not properly giving much attention to that last position. So yeah, but he deserves that to be mentioned because of his performance in this race.
Absolutely.
And what do you think of like the low, not low points, but low, not so good performances, like low quality performances
You mean about
in this race? In this race.
in this race? I paid attention only to Perez because I'm waiting, like South American, I'm waiting a little bit more from him. And at the same time, I am worried about Helmut Marko attitude. And I think at this point he wasn't doing a good work. Perhaps it's like Perez said. Perhaps he needs time to understand, to adapt his driving to this car.
Yeah.
Time will tell. We've got 2 races in front of us, still a long to go, and we'll see during those that he is slowly evolving. Perhaps we all know you, but we're waiting a little bit more from him.
Yeah, I think so. And just to close on the Portuguese Grand Prix, I think that also Aston Martin, still not fighting for points here. A good regarding the 2 drivers, good race for Vettel. He finally was better than Stroll, so at least that goes for him. But yeah, the car was not fantastic. And also I mentioned to Tsunoda, which started very well in Bahrain, but in the second race in Imola and now in Portimao was a little bit disappointing, we have to say. And yeah, that's my final comments on this race.
Okay, friends, let's go to Spain now. We have passed also over Catalonia circuit. We can say another classic for this era of Formula One. A difficult track to overtake.
Yeah. It's a difficult track to overtake only when you have or a very strong power unit regarding the other car or a very good tires regarding the other car. You can overtake in the straight, and in the other corners I think it's close to impossible unless it's in the race start. Like we saw Charles Leclerc pulling a masterpiece overtake on the usual Valtteri Bottas. That seems a little calm. In Portuguese we would say frouxo, but I don't know the exact translation to English. But yeah, it's like,
it is his cross, his heavy charge. That is an issue he always has to deal with.
But yeah, it was a good race. It was interesting until the end because we saw pretty different strategies in the upper field. And yeah, this was like a race to enjoy and appreciate the true masterclass of the whole Mercedes team. Driver, car, strategist, whole team, masterclass performance. And of course I'm talking about Lewis Hamilton, not Valtteri Bottas. Surprise.
Well, he has become a great wingman. Every time in every race we speak about Formula One and about Hamilton, he's always there, perhaps to distract, perhaps to borrow, and to make Hamilton's work easier. Perhaps that is also another heavy charge for him.
Yeah, he's the wingman that Verstappen also needs, and he have things. Yeah, not Gasly, not Albon, and until now not Perez are being solid. I'm not even saying good wingman, solid wingman, we could say, but not even solid wingman. So
Hamilton always counts with him, even if he's not doing any good work. Counts on him.
Yeah. Now, and in this race, we like I was saying before, it seemed that Mercedes did another step up. Yeah, Verstappen started well. He was pretty tough in the first corner. I think he made a bold statement there. And Hamilton, I don't know if Hamilton should have backed down, just
Hmm.
because of like in drivers this is important, like the psychological state, because maybe now Verstappen knows that Hamilton will always back down, and if Hamilton do that and they just both crashed, and yeah, they would be out.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, that they will be the only two fighting for the championship, so that wouldn't be such a problem. Now we will see what happens regarding the battles of the two drivers on track. But yeah, then Hamilton was able to pursue Verstappen, and man, the pressure that he was able to put on that second stint, it was really impressive. Even so, because they were not thinking about doing another stop. So it was not just like, yeah, I will destroy these tires and stop. No, he was putting pressure, and then they understood, yeah, it will not be possible to overtake this guy like this. We will have to change the approach. So yeah, I think it shows that they, regarding race pace and the treatment of tires regarding durability,
Hmm.
they at least in this race, and I think they are a step ahead. We will see in Monaco that they have other tire issues, not durability, but more like eating them. But yeah, regarding the durability of the tires that car produces, and the pace of the car in like race pace, it's also very strong. We can see that Verstappen in qualifying fights with them and fights
Hmm.
like it's a fair fight. The two cars seem pretty much equal, or I would say maybe even Red Bull is a little bit better in qualifying because of the power unit usage at maximum power. But yeah, during the race, it's just not the same. And I think it's clear to see, because you can compare even Bottas with Verstappen, and you saw that Bottas finished also pretty close to Verstappen. So yeah, and he's the worst of the two, of Bottas and Hamilton. Yeah, and Perez, we don't need to talk about him because he didn't even get close to those guys. So yeah,
And what about the low performances? Have you noticed someone getting worse, even worse, or even worse?
I think that Perez did a better race in Portimao than in Spain. I could say that no, Ferrari and McLaren were pretty strong. Maybe Lando wasn't able to pull like a strong race, but he did that in the three first races. So yeah, let the guy breathe a little bit, and it probably was good for Ricardo to be in front of him. Oh, but I have to mention one top one top performance, and it's Charles Leclerc fourth. And I didn't
Oh, yes, yes.
notice, but I saw in some article that in the first four races he qualified three times in the second row with a Ferrari. That's the
Mm,
trick.
great, great performance,
Yeah,
even for both, for car and driver. Science is also closer, and
yeah.
that means that Ferrari is doing a good work.
A step up
Perhaps,
from last year.
yeah, yes, absolutely.
Regarding the other teams, I think it was good to see Alpine finishing ninth with Ocon. It seems that they have the performance because Portimao has some special conditions because of the surface, and yeah. So
Hmm.
I was not sure that they could be so strong in other tracks, but that nine place of Ocon in this track, Catalonia, I think it shows a lot of promise to them. And yeah, regarding the other driver, I think Alonso, not a really good job. Aston Martin again, but yeah, it seems that the rest of the year probably will be like this. It will be difficult to enter the points for them. But
Hmm.
yeah, Vettel this time didn't beat Stroll, and yeah, that's it. I don't think that I have much more to say about this race. I don't know if you have anything to comment or any question.
I would like to say that again, Tsunoda disappointed a little bit. I don't know if it was his fault or a mechanical issue, but he didn't finish,
Yeah, and in qualifying, you didn't do a good job also.
and his issue demanded the presence of the safety car, the only one in this race, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
Well, as you said, finally there were a lot of people fighting for that last point that finally went for Alonso. They were Stroll, Gasly, Raikkonen, and Vettel fighting for that single point. It was typical, we can say a typical Catalonia race.
Yeah, maybe no, maybe it was better than the typical one. At least we had not many overtakes in all the
Yes.
fields, but it was interesting to see that fight for victory because during the race I was when Hamilton stopped again, I was pretty sure, or at least I was leaning towards believing that he was going to pull that off, but you never know. So you are like, well, let's see, and you get a little bit nervous and you get enthusiasm seeing that, and it was good until the end.
Okay, it was 98th Hamilton victory, the third one of this year, and it was 918th Mercedes victory in his history in Formula One.
Yeah, 98 wins. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And would he be able to reach the 99th in next race?
We will see.
We'll see. Here we are again, and now we have reached the most glamorous race of the Formula One calendar. We are now at Monaco.
The most glamorous and boring.
A very strange circuit, very, very, I don't know how to say, angosto.
Not large
Sorry?
enough. It's not large enough for those cars.
It's not wide enough for these cars. It is one of the races in which is very, very important the qualification. The quali is the most important stage in this race. Saturday is almost winning the race.
Almost.
Who did almost.
Almost.
And who did the great job of the pole?
It was the guy that we were praising just 5 minutes ago, his performance in qualifying, the one and only Charles Leclerc with a Ferrari, which was a strong car in this track. It's not like, yeah, he did the pole in a Ferrari. Yeah, he did it, but we have to say that if it wasn't the best car in this weekend, maybe we could have a discussion about that. So maybe it was not the best, but it was really close to Red Bull. Yeah, better than Mercedes, I think. So, but nevertheless, a great job. I don't know if you saw the onboard lap. Man, it's
No, I haven't.
You should. It's incredible.
It is very dramatic thing to drive at maximum speed on those streets. Walls are very, very close. I think the Ferrari setup was perfect, and he was inspired, absolutely inspired.
And if you see that lap, if you really see it, you can understand what happened in the end of qualifying. Why that happened? Yeah, it just wasn't that. In that corner, I think he already touched it in the first lap. Like, how do you say, very smoothly, but if you pause there, it's like, I don't know if a hair could be between the wheel and the guardrail. So yeah, and then it was unfortunate because those kind of crashes usually don't lead to a gearbox change. I was pretty confident that he was going to be successful in starting from pole, but yeah, that wasn't the case. But I think we can also say that Saturday was much more fun than Sunday.
Yes, the dramatic thing was that finally Charles Leclerc didn't start the race because he damaged his car enough to be ready. I think Ferrari and we all thought that he was ready to take part of the race, but it wasn't. They say, a minor issue led Charles out of the race. And finally, not the pole, but there was no one in the first place. It was for Verstappen.
Yeah.
And they say at Monaco, if you reach turn one at first place, it is very probable that you'll be able to win the race. And there were many little overtakes in the start. Two cars for Raikkonen, two cars for Alonso, and Schumacher overtook Mazepin, and that was all in the start. Then it was time to wait for strategy moves. What happened?
Well, we saw that people that tried to do the undercut lost against the ones that did an overcut. And we saw that I think the team and driver that could pull that off in the best way, Aston Martin with Sebastian Vettel. And what a good race for him.
Yeah, it was a really good race for him.
Very good. I don't know if you noticed, but when he gets out of the pit and the Gasly appears like right side by side, and then the race, the how do you say, the transmission director, or I don't know the name, but yeah, that guy. When they are reaching the top side by side, he just cuts the transmission to a replay of Stroll.
And what happened? And what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I already see a lot of things in the internet, like when in 2016 Euro, the Portuguese guy Eder goes to shoot the the ball to score the goal, and he just shoots, and then cut in the image, replay from Stroll. But yeah, and also Gasly a good race. Well, Bottas. We can talk not only about Bottas but Mercedes as an all. What if Spain was a master class, this was a master class of
strategy, of technology, of driving, and
yeah, this was a master class of not of how what you can do. It was like the opposite. Master class of bad things. So failed.
yeah, perhaps in this race, those master classes were given by Verstappen, Red Bull, and a little bit by Perez. They did the good work in this race. They managed their high points. They managed strategy. They used the track to their own convenience. Mercedes did exactly the opposite.
Yeah, and also Carlos Sainz. I think we could put him in that master class. Maybe only not in qualifying. He could do a better job, and we could see that he was really frustrated about not being able to conclude that last lap because he knew that the car had more. And when he was in the podium in second place, you could see that he was also frustrated because he knew that he had the car to fight for the win. But yeah, solid job, and like you said, Mercedes the opposite. Not setting up the car properly, like they failed the setup during all the weekend, not being able to eat the tires, ruining Bottas' race, and then that comment that you showed me of Toto Wolff saying that he was also to blame, man. Get your shit out of here. It's like, no, it's not his fault. That never happened to anyone.
I think it is the easy way to find a guilty. It was a technical issue, as you said. It could happen to anyone, and in this case, I think you could blame a lot of people, but you couldn't and you wouldn't blame Bottas. He was doing a good work, an acceptable work.
He was saving the team. Yeah. No, he was saving the team because the usual suspect, Lewis Hamilton, was having one of the poorest performances I remember him having. Because even when the car is good, he usually can pull something off, but it just wasn't working. And I think that's the problem with him, that the first reaction to adversity is good, and he usually overtakes those difficulties. But when they persist, happens what happened in this weekend. Man, it was just really bad because he wasn't being able to do what Bottas was doing. In the end, I think he was not really correct because I don't know if you saw Tuzigo Sports, a Dutch TV, which is interesting. They asked him if he had learned anything from this weekend, and he said, "No, I don't have nothing to learn, but the team has." Like, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah,
In a similar attitude to Toto.
yeah.
That was not good. Absolutely wasn't a good thing.
But yeah, Monaco is a special circuit, and I believe that in Baku, with that 2 kilometers straight, they will be much stronger because that power
Hmm.
unit will be a good help in that part.
Absolutely. It will be a little bit like, I hope not, but it will be a little bit like a Portugal race.
Yeah,
All fighting behind Mercedes. We'll see.
yeah, and yeah, we already touched, but I have to again mention I really liked Sebastian Vettel with this performance gains the trust and confidence that he needs to keep having these performances because it's good for Formula One, it's good for the team, it's good for him, it's good for everybody. And also another almost I don't know if it's perfect, but if it's not, it's really close to perfect. We can for Lando Norris and yeah, third place in Monaco with a McLaren. McLaren being strong in all different kinds of tracks in street
Hmm.
circuit like Monaco, in Portimao, in Spain, in every track they are strong. And yeah, and Ricardo was left by Lando. So
So sad to see him so lost.
yeah,
He's a Monaco winner, and it is so strange to see him being overtook, but his teammate losing a lap. It's so strange.
yeah,
He's not having a comfortable year at at McLaren.
yeah. And I think that covers Monaco Grand Prix. I don't know if you have any other comment or question.
No, please, let's go. Let's go away from Monaco.
Yeah, let's go away and where we will be in the next episode or next time.
We would like to travel to United States for a very special race, but also would like to travel to a MotoGP circuit. Where are we going to travel?
Yeah, to MotoGP, we will travel to the marvelous track Mugello. Am I right?
Are we traveling to Italy?
Yeah. It's Italy. It's
Oh.
Mugello, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's Mugello because I saw a bunch of news today about it, and it's good. It's the usually the top speed record track. So let's see what the Ducatis do in that
Okay.
track.
Hmm. Will be very interesting to see them fighting up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Joao, can we say goodbye for today?
Yes, we can say goodbye for today and see you all in the next episode. And take care.
Take care. We'll see you all next week when we again became the drivers of this imaginary and very fast car called.
As do volante.
Bye bye.
Bye.